Katia Beebe. Imagine you're sitting in class listening to a lesson and all of a sudden your teacher pushes you into a closet. You hear gunshots and screaming. You are scared and confused. We all remember the breaking news of Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook was a prime example of violent media being the culprit of a mass shooting and other crimes committed by the youth. There are two types of violent media in our society. The first one is TV shows and video games, and the second one is TV shows and video games, and the second one is movies. We should all understand the correlation between violence in the media and violence in society because acts of aggression can occur around us daily. Let's begin by looking at how TV shows and movies play a role in a child's life. TV shows and movies impact children at every hour of the day. An article written by Eugene V. Barrison titled "The Impact of Media Violence on Children and Adolescents: Opportunities for Clinical Interventions" stated that children watch approximately 28 hours of TV per week. That's 4 hours of TV a day. This is a common pastime for children. If a child is not at school, they are most likely watching TV or watching a movie. Some popular movie genres include action, crime, and thriller. The violence in children's TV programming is astonishing. Research done at the University of Pennsylvania stated that there are up to 20 acts of violence in 1 hour's worth of children's TV program. So if your child watches 4 hours of TV a day, they are witnessing up to 80 acts of violence. This is a very shocking fact. The article "Violence on Television: What Children Learn and What Can Parents Do," published in 1999, stated the effects violent TV shows and movies have on children. One of the effects was that children can become more fearful of the world around them. They think the world is a dangerous place to live in because of the violence they have witnessed on their TV shows and movies. Now that you have understood the effect violent TV shows and movies have on children, we can now discuss the impact of other types of violent media. A common pastime for children is playing video games. Girls will play up to 1 hour of video games per day, and boys will play more than 2. A lot of popular video games promote the killing of people or animals, the abuse of drugs and alcohol, criminal behavior, stereotyping, and foul language. A lot of these violent video games have a negative effect on children. In the article written by Ray Smart Kids, published on October 16, 2016, listed some of the effects these violent video games have on children. One of the effects was that children may become less sensitive to the pain and suffering of others around them. The violence they have witnessed in the video games they play just becomes normal to them. In the article "Effects of Video Games on a Child's Brain," Dr. Jordan Grafman stated that boys who have played violent video games become desensitized because their emotional responses are blunted. The violence shown in their video games become normal to them, and they are numb to it. Lastly, these violent video games can cause children to behave in more aggressive and harmful ways towards others. In a 2014 report done by the Center for Innovative Public Health Research, stated that boys who have played violent video games in the past year were 4 times more likely to carry a weapon to school. This is a very scary thought to think about. These children will imitate the violence shown in the video games they have been playing. Why exactly are we letting our children play violent video games if there is an obvious link to aggression? Violence in the media causes violence in our society, especially among young children. There are 2 types of violent media in our society. The first one is TV shows and movies, and lastly, there are video games. You have now heard the effects these violent media have on children. Thanks to violence in our media, we have violence in our society.